law going into effect in early October that could impact your future.
Specifically, we're talking about big changes coming in regards to power of attorney. And today, our expert in estate planning is here to tell us all about it, David Carrier. And, you know, I guess when I think of power of attorney, I think of telling somebody, like maybe Rachel or my husband, hey, you can pull the plug.
Right,
if I get to that point, but it's bigger than that, right?
It really is. I mean, that's with the healthcare power of attorney. And, you know, when I talked to the producer, Chris, about, we're going to talk about powers of attorney, you know, it was electric. Oh, boy, I can't wait to find out about that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, you know, I guess I don't do murders, you know what I mean? I don't do high finance. I do, you know, kind of boring stuff. But I think it's really important stuff because, and that's why I brought my donuts today.
Okay. We were wondering how you're going to work those donuts in. We hope they're fresh and tasty. So, but let's use the example first.
Here's the thing. Seniors these days are getting kind of a double whack. The first whack with the 2x4 is the fact that when they retired, they expected to get about, and we were planning on this, about a 6% return. I mean, you could get a CD. See, you get a. Where's my?
That's your 6%.
That's my.
Oh no.
See, and then they started sliding off the plate,
which is symbolic of what could be happening for a lot of people.
Right. Well, and now you're down to, you know, ever try to get a CD these days, you're talking less than 1%. So you go from a full plate where, okay, I can make it, to it's pretty skinny out there.
So you have a little more cushion in the older days, and now you have little room for error.
Exactly. I mean, seniors are paying $4 a gallon for gas just like everybody else, except that, you know, they went from planning, hey, I'm going to get a full plate of donuts every year, to it ain't going to happen. So that's why all the planning that we do, I think, is so important, because it's all about maintaining choices. And if we don't know what your choices are, and you haven't told us, then it's the probate court who's going to decide for you. Now, we have healthcare powers of attorney, we have financial powers of attorney. Okay? The financial powers of attorney are the ones that let you, you know, do finances for somebody else. But come October 1st, the rules have changed.
Okay, so tell us about this change in Michigan law that people that even may have a pretty good understanding of what power of attorney can be.
Right.
How are things changing, and what do we need to know if we need to make this decision?
Right. Well, what you need to know, and this is why we do the workshops, right? Most people think, well, if you can pay my bills for a couple of weeks. You know, the theory behind most powers of attorney, I think, is you're going to be hit by a car, 2 weeks later, you're gone, and I've got to pay the light bill in the meantime.
You need someone to be able to make those decisions.
Correct. Right. From financial, just pay the bills, that kind of thing. And really, it's a lot more important than that. I mean, there's a lot more going on. The way I look at the situation is, I might be in long-term care for maybe years. How do I save the house? How do I save some finances? How do I save some investments? Not for the kids. I mean, we're really not worried about the kids. It's how, if you're in a long-term care situation, how do I make sure that I can pay for the purple pill, that I can get a private room if that's what you need?
So what has changed then? What is the difference?
Sure. It used to be that we didn't really know. We based it on the law of agency. Okay, and now it's very specific. In order to, for example, make gifts, which is a very important part of what we do, the ability to make a gift, it has to say it in the power of attorney. That's statutory law. There's no question about it. There's no interpretation of it. It's got to be that way. Also, the person who is acting as the power of attorney has to agree to do it. There's a laundry list now of things that they have to agree to do. You know, accountability, liability, all the rest of this. It's become a much bigger deal now to actually act as somebody else's agent than it used to be.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a change. You're explaining this, though, in less than minutes.
Right.
In some workshops that you're having coming up, right?
Right. And that's why we do the workshops. You know, it is a couple of hours. We don't have donuts, cookies, you know, fresh baked cookies.
Almost.
You could do that same demonstration.
I could, maybe I'll do that, yeah.
3 workshops coming up?
Yeah, well, you know, we do them every single week.
Yeah.
Every week the good Lord brings, we've got another workshop. Whether it's every other Saturday, or we pick some day during the week to make it convenient for folks. But the workshops are really the way you start digging into this stuff, because it is so important. You know, the margin of error these days is less than it ever has been. You know, you only have to read the newspaper to figure that one out.
And for people like me, who my husband and I have our wills, we have powers of attorney, we feel like we have all of our ducks in a row. Do these changes impact us? Are they retroactive, or are we kind of grandfathered in? And
excellent question. You are grandfathered in.
Okay.
It says that the new laws apply to powers of attorney executed after October 1st of this year.
Perfect.
But it's still, I think, the statute is going to, if you ask someone to interpret what your power of attorney means, in a couple of years, they're going to be using the statute, not what happened before. And so I think very important to get that stuff updated to make sure that you're, that you meet the requirements.
And this really is just one example of many laws that through the last several years have probably had changes, and so even for people like me who have this, not a bad idea to come to a workshop and refresh things.
Right. And and the changes that are coming. I mean, we're looking right now, we talked before about estate recovery. Remember, where if you go through probate, now they're coming after the house. Well, there's law pending right now. Not law yet, where they put a lien on the house as soon as you apply for help with the long-term care. Right. So will that be the law or won't it be the law? Stay tuned.
That's right.
Yeah, or attend a workshop. So thank you for putting this on our radar, David. We appreciate it.
More than welcome. Thank you.
We'll be right back.